address the problems of the modern world. So, stay tuned. We have an awesome show for you today.
Where is this legislation going? I mean, will there be disclosure short term? Will these two committee chairmen, the Speaker of the House, Mitch McConnell, will they shut it down?
Well, the Senate passed it, the amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act, but it hasn't been signed into law yet. The House is in negotiations, from what I understand, over this amendment. I'll be talking to the Speaker today or tomorrow about this amendment and just telling him how important it is to this community and transparency. That's really all I want is transparency. Where we're spending all this money on something, and where's it going, and why do they not trust the American public? Those are the things that people need to ask. You can, as I said at the hearing, I said we're not going to bring in a UFO, we're not going to bring in little green men, but what we want is transparency. And unfortunately, we don't have much of that in the United States Congress because look, there's another shiny object over here. They'll misdirect us over here. They'll misdirect us over there. But I believe this community is very, very in tune to what's going on and the cover-up that's been going on.
You recently did an interview with Joe Rogan on his podcast, and you said something that really took me aback. You said that you believed that the United States government has killed people for trying to go public with a story. Really?
Those are concerns that certain scientists on the program that are known to me, presented that to myself, but I did direct them to the appropriate authorities on that. That's something that I don't know firsthand. That's something they espouse, but because of the serious nature of that, I directed them to the appropriate authorities, such as the Inspector General staff and law enforcement. So I can't speak to that because that's something that they espoused, and I directed them to the right authorities.
Other people were worried about that, not you.
I had some unique things happen in my personal life that, were some of the causal factors for me to file a complaint, some things that my wife and I had noticed, some intimidation. I can't get into the exact nature. I did provide that information to the Inspector General, and hopefully they've referred it to appropriate federal law enforcement and counterintelligence personnel. But I can't discuss that publicly because of the sensitive nature of that for my own protection and for the integrity of the investigation.
Yeah, because if you really believe that the government has done that in the past with people who've tried to expose this UFO program, why are you still alive? You've done more to expose it than anyone else.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I went public, and certainly I was shown that, they can touch me at any time, and that's what led me to not only contact my former agencies, counterintelligence folks with, what I witnessed, and I provided evidence to that fact, but filed the complaint, and certainly going public was the appropriate move for me.
One thing that bothers me is the UFO story. And, the more you dig into that and talk to people with actual knowledge of it, again, that's another story where there are some, fanciful ideas floating around that are just, there's no evidence that they're true. But if you talk to people who, have actual knowledge of it that they gathered themselves, there are parts of that story that I do not understand at all that are really, really, really dark. It's so dark that I, haven't told my wife about it. I mean, I haven't verified any of this, but this is not just stuff that I read on the internet. I know you all are very, very grounded in that story, so I think I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But there's some stuff there that's just like, man, I'm not even sure what that means. There's a spiritual component there that I don't fully understand. So yes, that story bothers me. And I think, last thing I'll say, that one of the reasons that we've had all these disclosures and all of these, 10 whistleblowers at this point, and it hasn't really become front page news. Part of it's suppression. Parts of the government don't want you to know about it, but part of it is the public can't deal with it. It's too far out.